After crossing the Tyne, it was now a straightforward 4-mile walk on to Segedunum. We arrived at Segedunum about an hour behind schedule. We paid our entry fees, parked our kit and made straight for the museum. I must admit, it's just as impressive as the viewing tower which dominates the landscape outside. Which kind of brings it home as to just how dominating and impressive these Roman forts would have been 1900 years ago. It's fair to say I did a bit of homework before walking the wall, but it's not until you begin to see these artifacts and the personal items that the span of time seems to simply melt away. As far as the remains of the fort are concerned, well, you could say they're a little sparse. The emphasis at Segedunum is more on the museum exhibits, audio-visual presentations, and of course the reconstructions, such as the bathhouse, which, along with the barracks at Arbeia, I'm going to be saving for a little bit later. Tell you what, here's something I prepared earlier. Segedunum, the strong fort, known since 1085 as Wall's End. Built to garrison a cohort of equitata, a mixed unit of 480 infantry soldiers and 120 cavalry troopers. Originally, the wall terminated at Ponze Aelius and had reached Salernum, 28 miles away, before the decision to build Segedunum and extend the wall further east was made. At Arbeia, we learned that all Roman forts follow a set ground plan, so let's take a moment to find out what the plan was. Seen from above, the basic shape of the fort resembles that of a playing card and is often referred to as the classic playing card layout. The fort at Segedunum measured some 453 feet or 138 metres north to south and 393 feet or 120 metres east to west. The outer defence ditch was known as the fossa and the defensive wall was called the vallum. The fort had 4 main sets of gates, and the word for gate is porta. The south gate would have been known as the Porta Decumana, the north gate, Porta Praetoria, the east gate, Porta Principalis Dextra, and the west gate, Porta Principalis Sinistra. The forts also had their own internal series of roads. A main road running all the way through from east to west, passing the Praetorium, the Principia and the Arbeia, which was known as the Via Principalis. A road running from the north gate to the Principia was called the Via Praetoria. Another main thoroughfare, often viewed as the tradesman's route, ran from the south gate to the rear of the Principia, and it allowed access to the Arbeia and was known as the Via Decumana. Our next road, the Via Sagularis, runs uninterrupted around the intervallum defences. The Via Quintana was a minor access road immediately south of the 3 principal buildings. And finally, we have the minor access routes which would have run between barracks and other buildings, which would have been referred to as Viae Vicinariae. I've already mentioned the 3 principal buildings within the fort, the Praetorium, Principia and the Arbeia. which we will explore in more detail as I journey further along Hadrian's Wall. But I would like to quickly draw your attention to this building, the Valetudinarium. Today, we would call it the Medic Centre, an infirmary or hospital for soldiers and other military personnel. By having a standard plan and layout for their forts, which incidentally the Romans called castra, meant that soldiers of the empire could be sent to any castra and know immediately where everything is located. Time was pressing, but we wanted to visit the exposed section of the wall which was about 100 yards due west of the museum. Well, it's just our luck. Got to Segedunum, 4 o'clock. Spent an hour going round it. Quite interesting place. But we wanted to come down the road a little bit further on to this reconstruction wall. There is something here which is to do with the post holes which lay down Maia. Anyway, I'll tell you all about those now. Back in the late 1980s, archaeological excavations revealed this section of Hadrian's Wall built from stone. But surprisingly, they also revealed a series of post holes. Structural archaeologist Jeff Carter has a theory that these post holes represent the remains of a wooden wall which predates the stone wall and could have possibly extended most or even all of the way to the west coast. Well, that's one theory. Perhaps these post holes are the footprints of a wooden wall, but given the decision to build Segedunum appears to have been one made in haste, maybe it was built as a temporary measure to afford protection whilst the stone wall was being built, and only extended as far as Pons Aelius. That could suggest Rome's response to a recent act of rebellion or an uprising by local British tribes. The days have passed. To these eyes it appears as though the men of Rome raised a monster from its slumber. From the point where Udos, the god of light, sets forth upon his journey across the heavens, to the point at which his journey ends, this snake of stone now lays its belly on the very land in which the bones of our ancestors once rested. Upon its back, these men of Rome do strut like ants of the forest, boastfully protecting their nest. What powers of their gods that lets these mortal men seize the lands of our forefathers? In number, they are many, and we are few. But as a warrior, who has knelt many times before the stone altar of Fion, my blood boils at what I see before me. Men of Rome, you've built your wall, staked your claim, and made your statement. Now hear mine, for so long as my eyes are offended, venture from beyond your wall, and I shall gather unto me and my warriors many eagles of gold.